everyone, and welcome back to Queen G's Recipes. And today I'm going to be showing you how to make a very easy but very delicious layered vanilla cake. This recipe will give you two 9-inch cakes, and after all that I will be showing you how to make a very basic, very delicious vanilla buttercream frosting. We will be filling it and topping it with our buttercream. Now the ingredients you'll be needing here are some sugar, vegetable oil, milk, flour, baking powder, salt, some eggs, vanilla extract, and we will also be needing two 9-inch cake pans here, which have been sprayed with some nonstick spray and lined with some parchment paper. You also want to have your oven preheating to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and let's move on to the next step. Okay, so into our bowl with our whisk attachment. Now, most definitely you can do this in a bowl with a handheld electric whisk, or even in a bowl with a whisk. It'll just take a little bit longer. So what we're going to add into our bowl here is our sugar, our eggs, and our vanilla extract. And we are going to mix until our mixture is somewhat a pale color and fluffy. Okay, so I mixed my mixture here on high speed for exactly 1 minute, and now we are going to add in our vegetable oil and mix until well combined. Okay, this looks great. Now we are going to add in our final ingredients, which is our milk, our flour, baking powder, and salt. Now we're going to alternate the milk and the flour mixture. So we're going to start off with our dry ingredients and then add in half of our milk, then add in a second part of our flour, then add in remaining of our milk, and lastly we will end with the rest of our flour. Now make sure you sift in your ingredients. So I will be sifting mine in a separate bowl, and then we will get to finishing our cake batter. Okay, so while alternating my dry and wet ingredients, I scraped on the sides and bottom of my bowl periodically just to make sure everything was being nicely combined together. Now we are ready to place our cake batter into our prepared cake pans, and we'll just split the batter in between the both. Okay, so we're going to try and place the batter as evenly as we can in both pans, and then we'll be ready for baking. Okay, so we'll bake our cakes for about 25 minutes or so, or when a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean. Okay, so while our cakes are baking, we are going to make a simple syrup, which is as easy as it sounds. So what we're going to need for the simple syrup is 1/3 a cup of sugar. Okay. Right. We're also going to need 1/3 a cup of water. Right, and we don't want this to come up to a boil. We just want the sugar to melt, and you'll notice it might gently bubble on the edges, but you don't want it to boil. You just want it to come to a very hot temperature and melt all of our sugar. So let's move our saucepan to our stovetop. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on it and occasionally stir until you notice that there is no more visible sugar. Now we're going to be using this simple syrup to moisten our cakes even more. So that's what this is for. Okay, so it took about 2 minutes, and as you can see, it didn't boil, but it is nice and hot, and you no longer see any visible sugar. So now we're going to remove this from our stovetop, and we're going to add in half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay, so this is perfect. That's about it. We're going to set this aside to cool, and then we'll wait for our cakes to bake and to cool. Okay, so my cakes baked for exactly 30 minutes. They are perfect. Now we're going to let them cool in the pans, probably for about 15 minutes or so. Then gently run a butter knife, you know, all that jazz, making sure everything is nicely loose from the pan, and it will not be difficult at all to remove it from the bottom because we added the parchment paper. So now let's wait 20 minutes, and then I'll meet you right back here. Okay, so now we will allow our cakes to completely cool, and then we will work on our buttercream frosting. Okay, so our cakes are completely cooled, and now we are ready to work on our frosting. As you can see, our cakes, I just took off the top of the both of the layers just to make them a little more flat, but that's definitely optional. You can flip your cake upside down and keep the flat part on the tops of your layers. So that's up to you, but this is how I prefer to do it. And we just use that as a little snack. My family snacks on the tops of it. It definitely does not go to waste. So the ingredients we'll be needing here for our vanilla buttercream are some icing sugar, of course, some butter, some vanilla bean paste, some half and half cream. And now you might be thinking, wow, that is a lot of butter, but it is to fill and to also coat our whole cake. Now, it is a delicious and amazing cake, but the frosting most definitely just adds that special touch and makes the vanilla cake perfection. It can be used for so many occasions, so many reasons, or just for a craving. Making a wonderful vanilla cake is always awesome, or birthdays, any occasions, it is perfection. So let's move on to making our buttercream. Okay, so now for our frosting, we are going to place our softened butter. Very important, it needs to be extremely soft at room temperature. Okay, mine was on top of my stove, so it's just melted a little bit. That is totally fine. So now I'm going to place my whisk attachment here, and we are going to whip this on high speed for 5 minutes. Okay, so our butter is a nice pale yellow after whipping on high speed for 5 minutes. And now we're going to add in our vanilla paste. You can use a good quality vanilla extract if you don't have vanilla paste. So that's fine as well. And we will also add in our half and half and mix till combined. Okay, so this is great. I mixed it on high speed for about 30 seconds. Now we are going to add in half of our icing sugar. We will start off on low speed, of course, and then we will mix until everything is nicely combined together, probably about a minute or two. Okay, this looks great. Now we are ready to place the remaining of our icing sugar, and then we will mix on high speed again for another 2 minutes, and our buttercream frosting will be complete. Now make sure you scrape down the sides and the bottom of your bowl as many times as necessary throughout the process of making your frosting. Okay, our frosting is ready, and now we're ready to move on to the next step. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is place half of our simple syrup on the first layer. Okay, so now that that's done, I just wanted to show you, I placed a little over a cup of buttercream in a piping bag with a tip. It doesn't matter what tip, or if you don't have any tip at all. So we'll make a border and then we'll just swirl around and we'll smooth it out. Okay, so now we are definitely ready to place our top layer on top here. So I have my cake upside down, and as I did mention, I did cut the tops to make it a little more leveled out. So we will place the cake upside down. Okay, and not press too much. And this is wonderful. So now we are ready to place our simple syrup on the top layer. Okay, so our cake is ready. It looks wonderful. And now it is definitely important to place these pieces of parchment paper, or even some wax paper will do the same thing, because in the end, all you have to do is pull them out and you have a nice clean cake and a nice clean platter. And now, before we actually try a piece of our cake, we're gonna place it in our fridge for about half an hour. Okay, so my cake has been in the fridge for about 45 minutes, so now we are definitely ready to cut a slice. It is simply delicious and moist. It is perfection, the perfect vanilla cake for any time, any occasion. I really hope you guys give this a try. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give us a nice big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you will be notified every time I upload a new and delicious recipe. Share the recipe with your family and friends, and I'll see you on my next video. Take care. Bye, everyone.